Kirito and Asuna trapped inside of the Underworld. Time to start repopulating. So what's up guys, Foxen here. SAO Alicization, War of Underworld episode 21. You even got a flash from the past with Mr. SAO making a cameo. So be sure to smash that like, ring the bell, and let's dive into this. But really quickly, a thank you to Bookwalker. I know you love SAO, so why not find out what Asuna and Kirito were doing for 200 years? You can't find out at Bookwalker, so check them out after. Today's episode titled Beyond Time. Over at the ocean turtle side, you got Alice's light cube being ejected. I actually kept on seeing this question from a lot of you last episode. Oh, what would Alice do? She doesn't have a body. Keep in mind, despite her not having a body, she would be able to convert to other VR worlds like Alpha Online or GGO, no problem. You could bet that's what Quinella had planned. Then for Asuna, you got to see the other side of things. And just to clarify about her choice, Asuna didn't know they would be stuck for 200 plus years. On the other hand, Asuna was able to see the acceleration countdown from the admin console on her side. She knew that the Underworld was about to be locked up, which is why she chose to remain with Kirito until he was able to log out too. Switching to Kiku, finally getting off your ass. Gotta save your best buddy Higa. But for the tough news, you may have saved Alice, but you're losing Kirito and Asuna. Then for Rinko's side, come on A1 Pictures, how much are you cutting from these characters? Rinko thought that Asuna staying behind was so youthful, so earnest, and so tragically beautiful. She thought back to her own situation with Kayaba. Kayaba had left her behind, disappearing into VR. But she did wonder, what would she have done if she was given the option to go with him? Would she have destroyed her own brain, just like Kayaba had done? She previously thought that the floating castle and creating the Isekai was Kayaba's only desire. But during those 2 years, Kayaba had found something, learned something. SAO had changed his way of thinking. Kayaba realized that SAO was not the final destination, it was only the beginning. That's what eventually led Kayaba to developing that high-density nerve gear prototype that killed him. That's what led Rinko to design the Metacube Void from the data Kayaba left her. To which then all the data collected from here, from Yuki, helped Higa and Wrath finish the Soul Translator. The Underworld now should have been the type of reality that Kayaba was searching for, a true Isekai. So, had Kayaba's desire come true? To which Rinko realized that wasn't it. This still didn't help to explain another piece of the puzzle that Kayaba left behind, the seed package. Every VR MMO now had a standard foundation based on the seed's architecture, which was how the Japanese players were able to convert their accounts. It wasn't mentioned at this point exactly, but I do recall it being somewhat hammered down, how this conversion function from VR to VR world was not only a standard function, but Kayaba made it so it cannot be disabled. So what is the point of it? Why was it required for all VR worlds to have a shared architecture to be linked in this way? Rinko wondered about this, and the great Kayaba mystery continues. I'll just say, SAO Unitoring. And now it makes sense why the anime cut this, foreshadowing for stuff not in SAO Season 3. Anyway, for Alice's light cube here, I would've chunked that thing in my pocket or bag, and then put an empty one in the briefcase, just in case. So 1 minute gone by, plus 10 years, Asuna and Kirito would have been almost 30 in Underworld time, hopefully married by this point. Rinko here was hoping they could lock them out before their soul lifespan was reached. If so, they might be able to erase all the memories from this max acceleration period. The only problem is that they had less than 12 minutes to do it. As for the grim adventures of Kiku and Higa, it looks like Kiku was about to pass out. Don't drop this guy like a hot potato. You know what happened to Yanai? For Kiko here, I like how he was like, oh, the reason I'm doing this. You mean saving his ass? Or should I say saving the brain of Wrath? For the critter side of things, still trying to get Alice from their end. These guys are really working overtime. I even like how Critter went above and beyond with the Apple Watch map he hooked up. New for the anime. And no one cares, but they found Quinella's simp, now a very berry pancake. You may recall his dumbass falling when Rinko dropped that wrench. In the original, that didn't happen. Critter just concluded that he may have just slipped and ended up in the same state. For Kiko, oh no, it looks like good deeds don't go unpunished. His dumbass just had to take a bullet in the ass. And the anime totally didn't make that clear, but at least Kiko did score a +1 from taking the damage. It kinda sucks that they left out Critter somewhat freaking over this dance of bullets. I'm just a PC guy, damn it. The anime also left it vague, but do you recall how they were contracted to steal Alice's light cube? The client actually ordered them to destroy Alice if they determined she was unrecoverable, which means time to blow it all up. Critter here actually didn't have a pair. He actually thought that if he decided to blow this up, he would have nightmares for the rest of his life. Let's go ahead and get Captain Gabriel to make the call. I was actually really happy to see where they moved the Gabriel scene. But Gabriel, you ain't looking so good, are you? Oh, could that be fear I smell? That sweet, sweet emotion. Sorry, Gabriel, payback's a bitch. What a lovely ring-inspired scene. Did you forget this was Japan? I gotta say, I freaking love this. The anime captured this whole scene perfectly, especially with the bloody loli. And kind of obvious why they couldn't do this, but originally Gabriel was also shouting out for Vasago and his guys to help him out. Then for Critter coming in for the nice surprise. You could actually see Gabriel's claws peeling off. Ring vibes definitely intensified. And that's what you get, you bastard. I mean, killing the blonde and then countless others? Oh yeah, and Critter did confirm no pulse. Better tap that guy just to be safe. But holy crap, it looks like Vasago isn't doing much better. He looks like a dried up tree. How appropriate. And okay, I need to point out this anime change. Originally, Vasago was described with his eyes closed, sleeping peacefully. In the anime, it's anything but that. The dude looks like someone sucked him dry like a vampire. Perhaps Alicia had him for dessert. Switching back to Rinko, 10 minutes and counting, so plus around 100 years for Granny Kirito and Asuna Kirigaya. Keep in mind the theoretical limit for anyone's floodlight is around 150 years. Naturally, they don't have any way to actually confirm this. It could actually be much higher, or way lower. But anyway, bigger turtles to fry at the moment. Critter, what a great guy. They actually did it, setting this place to blow up sky high. Megumin approves. So don't worry guys, you don't have to worry about the Underworld. In a few minutes, it won't even exist. And I do have to give props to this random guy. Oh, just Asuna. You could tell from his face he knew he was lying his ass off. Going into that room, he was very likely to get extinct in the process. But did someone call for help? Back to Kiku. You gotta admire he got working his ass off to shut off the two machines. And Kiku, how about playing the hero? But what's with that ketchup stain? Come on Kiku, there's only so much you could do, especially when climbing up and down ladders. And freaking hell, each one of you mofos keeps on getting shot. Getting into it, a wall Terminator appears. Welcome back from the dead, Kayaba. So at the very least, the anime kept this chunk of Kayaba in. Here's the major point. Kayaba asking Rinko to fulfill his dream, which is a connection of the two worlds that are currently divided. Oh yes, Excel World vibes intensified. And Kayaba, you dumbass, only realizing how much Rinko meant to him post-death, which there is supposed to be this parallel between the two for Kirito and Asuna. For a small but important anime cut, they did ask why Kayaba waited until this moment to act. Kayaba had no intentions of interfering with the Underworld simulation. He only appeared at this moment to protect Asuna and Kirito, the two that had transcended the system he built. For another Kayaba cut, Rinko wondered if this was what Kayaba wanted. The Underworld was now officially a new reality. A world made incarnate by the invisible power of young people who sought to break free from the existing system of reality. What Kayaba had discovered in those 2 years in the castle was the endless possibility they represented, which was its bright power of the heart. Then for Kayaba in Terminator mode, Rinko had no idea how Kayaba slipped into it, but one thing was clear. The Kayaba inside of it had to be the one and only original. But come on Kayaba, failure right before the final stretch. Really pulling a Kirito, aren't you? It looks like Rinko to the rescue. She had to be his Asuna. Now stand, Kayaba. Come on, I'm really hating these anime cuts. On the day that Kayaba woke up from the death game, he told her, I don't believe in miracles. But you know what? I saw a miracle today for the first time in my life. He was talking about the sword that went through him and destroyed the last of his HP. It was like Kirito refused to obey the system and go away. He instead pierced him with his blade. Perhaps it was that moment that Kayaba had been waiting for all this time. I'll just mention, a somewhat related Juicy SAO video is in the works. Look forward to it. And oh yes, the final hurrah for Kayaba, really pulling off that All Might pose. Getting back to Critter and friends. That's right, you better run away. So small anime cut for Critter. Recall this whole mission was contracted by the NSA and CIA. Critter was now getting worried that he would get silenced if he stepped back into the US. As insurance, he actually snuck out a micro memory card from the ocean turtle. He actually taped it to his chest with skin color waterproof tape, just in case. But getting to the juicier stuff, oh, 2 bodies. Weren't there 3? I like how these other guys weren't even questioning Vasago missing. Where did Vasago go? Was Vasago even there? I will point out how Critter never actually checked his pulse. And this whole situation was something I was really happy to see in the actual story. Vasago ain't dead yet. At least this is some foreshadowing the anime couldn't avoid. So getting back to Rinko, she did have faith that Asuna and Kirito would wake up. She actually wanted to put Alice's light cube into their hands, assuring them that Wrath had kept her safe. She also wanted to tell them about Kayaba, who risked himself to protect the Underworld. At the same time, she wouldn't ask them to forgive him. That was impossible. but she did want them to understand the idea that Kayaba left behind and the goal he had been striving for. Talking about Kayaba, where did Kayaba run off to? It looks like Wasago isn't the only one that could turn into a ghost. Back to Higa, over 17 minutes for Kirito and Asuna at this point, which is around 150 years in the Underworld. Alright, let's get back into it, the Underworld. Asuna staying behind for Kirito. Honestly, I was crying like Kirito at the end of this episode. Their 200 plus year adventure is just beginning. And I was really hoping that the anime would give Asuna angel wings. Hell yeah, they did. Come on, bring on that angel Goddess Asuna figure. Even if it's hella expensive, I'ma get it. And hopefully you noticed, this thing being a parallel to both of their avatars taking off back in SAO Season 1. And come on, still no kiss scene? This would have been perfect. Super missed opportunity. Come on, what do I have to do for that? Do I have to pay for it? Where is the anime DLC? At this point, they better apologize for the full-on sexy time scene. A lot of things to do in these 200 years. Hashtag bunny time. By the way, for the butterfly shot here, this looks similar to the intro scene where Kirito entered the Underworld in the first episode. So let me know, how much did you like this SAO episode? I wouldn't be surprised if most of you also had this end scene as your favorite too, and most likely a similar complaint of mine. It really is a shame of how much of Kayaba they cut out from here. It feels like he's been reduced too much considering how big this moment is supposed to be for not only his character, but setting up the stage for future events. It really is too bad, but unfortunately for light novel anime, anything not related to the current season seems to be the first thing to go. I've been noticing this a lot too recently for Re:Zero. I really do just have to stop thinking about everything they do cut. I'm getting more frustrated about the cut kiss scene, especially when they went out of their way to expand in other places like the Goddess Lifa scene, which was not needed. The only saving grace for me for Asuna was her angel wings, much deserved. Also, keep in mind, without getting into spoilers, I do want to hammer down how Underworld events are done, unless they do add some anime original scenes, which I do hope they do. The final 2 episodes should be the epilogue, next episode titled Alice. And just for one common question from the last episode, I kept on seeing some of you ask, why couldn't Asuna and Kirito just kill themselves to log off? I mean, they can score this double KO. But keep in mind, both of them can't actually log off the Underworld while accelerating. It needs to go back to 1x speed. So unless they want to join Wasago in this limbo state, it's best not to log off early. Don't reset. This isn't Re:Zero. Talking about Re:Zero, do check out my recent Re:Zero videos. New episode review is up. Let's go ahead and get those likes up so you could enjoy those weekly too. It's almost there. And definitely do check out Bookwalker. If you want to know what Asuna and Kirito were doing for 200 years, I highly suggest reading Moon Cradle. That side story is covered in an SAO Light Novel 19 and 20. Just use my code Foxen to get a sweet $5 discount. But if you are craving more Kirito and Asuna, SAO Progressive is the way to go. But anyway, bonus question. There hasn't been too much of it this season, but what's been your favorite Kirito and Asuna moment in all of SAO? Go ahead and let me know below. Definitely subscribe, there is a big juicy SAO video coming. That'll be fun for Kirito fans, and I'll see you guys later.